It's a new day and age when a chapter of Dragon Ball, anything Dragon Ball related for that matter, the actual substance and content in it is better than the fighting. And that's not to say that the fighting was bad, because this chapter of Dragon Ball Super, the beginning of it, I forget how many, maybe about 5, 6 something pages or whatever, a decent amount of pages, the Beerus versus Champa fight was going down. And I ain't gonna lie, it was pretty cool, whatever, but it was everything after that part in the chapter that really was just superb and just great setup in general. It was just really great setup. With the Beerus and Champa fight, there's a couple things you could gather. I mean, at the end of the day, I was under the impression, to be honest with you, that Champa was just absolutely no match. Like, Beerus was just leaps and bounds ahead of him. But from this chapter, when they were going at it and, you know, destroying planet after planet, which showcases the battle of gods is real within these two, ultimately, Champa wasn't completely on the defense or anything like that. If anything, Beerus was kind of sort of on the defense. So, kind of gave me a little bit more insight into how strong Champa really is, which is good, because you don't want no weaklings as far as the villains and antagonists go. And it seems as though Vados kind of wanted that fight to go down and seemingly even instigated that fight by having the one cake, because she knew that it would ultimately make them go at it. So I'm curious if Vados wants at some given point for maybe, you know, Champa to defeat Beerus or something along the lines of that, because there's something a little bit more maniacal to Vados opposed to everyone else. Like, Champa just seems like he's kind of like an idiot and just likes to eat. Beerus is, you know, wise, but at the same time, he just loves to eat. And Whis seems like he's pretty wise, but he doesn't necessarily seem bad. But Vados kind of has like a sinister feel to her. And with the whole thing in this chapter about them doing, you know, the deal or whatever, which I said quite a few chapters ago, or not quite a few chapters ago, in my last review, shall I say, that what would be in it for Beerus if they had this, you know, fight. And basically in this chapter, it was confirmed that Champa said, I'll give you the 6 Dragon Balls and you get the last one and make your wish. And I'm curious, what would Beerus wish for? Would he wish for an endless vortex of food? Like, why would he necessarily even want these Dragon Balls? Because he's not going to wish it to switch to Earths like Champa wanted to do. So what is he going to do if he ultimately gets these Dragon Balls? And it's insane, because we always had this knowledge with, at first when I read the spoilers and I didn't get the context that this chapter actually brought forth, I was like, okay, this is retcon and bullshit, because yeah, it was always said that the Namekians created them, and it's technically still true that the Namekians took pieces and then created their Dragon Balls, but ultimately they come from these planet-sized things that it's insane, because, you know, Shenron has his limits. All these dragons have their limits of what they can do, but it seems as though, which I can't wait to see what the dragon looks like. If these are planet-sized balls, then I'm imagining whatever dragon is going to be summoned, he has to be within space and he has to be humongous. So I'm really excited to see what the actual dragon from the Super Dragon Balls looks like. And what will he be called? Like Super Shenron? Like, what would be his name? And I think Champa might have stepped into it with this one, because he was fooled by the fact that Goku and Vegeta were moving slow because they had weighted clothing on. So he was like, yeah, you know, they're slow and stuff like that. So he might not actually have fighters at his arsenal that are as strong and fast as Goku and Vegeta. He might have just been under the assumption like, oh, okay, so that's where they range. Okay, I got some people that are that strong. Like, yeah, I could get somebody to fuck them up, not knowing that they're actually a lot faster and stronger than that. So the Saiyans in his universe that he ultimately says in the end of this chapter, like, yeah, we're gonna get a couple of Saiyans too, they might not be anywhere near Goku and Vegeta. For all we know, that they could show up and like, oh yeah, we're badasses, and then ultimately get owned, which would suck, because I want a really good fight. But Champa right now is underestimating Goku and Vegeta because of what he's seen. And I ain't gonna lie, it really is a sad day in Dragon Ball history for the fans of Son Gohan, because when your own father, man, I said this with the spoiler video and I'll say it again, it's sad that Vegeta has more faith in Gohan than Goku. Goku is like, oh no, like, how do you have more faith in Piccolo? Which, if I'm correct, regardless of what, Gohan should still be way stronger than Piccolo. But you're like, yeah, oh no, we'll go with Piccolo and Boo. No, Gohan, he's a nerd, man. He's a nerd. Like, I'm sorry, this is just sad. It really is fucking sad. Poor Gohan. Like, you were the MVP for a very long time, and I will always remember what you were. But when Goku is just already like giving up hope on you, you're not the man I wanted you to be, son. And of course, the big thing of Beerus saying the final person that he's going to have on his team is the strongest person he fought thus far. And that's excluding Whis, and Goku was the second strongest. So I'm really excited to see who this could be again. It could be another crazy Saiyan. It could just be a whole different people. I think at this point though, aside from the Saiyans from Universe 6, I think whoever it is going to be somebody brand new. That's just my personal take on it. Maybe another God of Destruction, maybe something along the lines of that, but it's going to be a brand new character. That's just my opinion on it. I think Toriyama already, because he is still somewhat involved in this, he doesn't really like to make, really big and badass characters anymore. He's going to make something goofy. It's going to be something like a Majin Buu, in my opinion, just like a really silly character that's super fucking strong. And I'm curious why it is that Whis is not allowed to compete in these things. It's kind of like, yeah, it's a little competition or whatever, but I'm wondering, is it because Whis and Vados are just way too strong to be even included in this, or is it because of the laws of nature? Maybe they're not allowed to participate in anything that has to do with the gods of destruction and their competitions. And something really awesome, which again, I said before and I'll say it again, I need to read the Jocko manga because we got to see Bulma's sister, and I'm so glad that it is just really 100%, okay, Jocko is definitely a prequel spinoff, because we get to see Tights in this one, and it's like, I want more Tights, I want more Jocko and Tights. Like, can Tights just decide to come and move back to Earth or something? Like, I want more, because I love new characters, especially if they kind of correlate and they originally come from this. Like, it's just so cool, like, bring Tights to this world, we need more Tights. Now the Zuno guy, I'm imagining, again, it's going to be another silly character. He supposedly knows everything, including underwear, and the fact that he would know what underwear you're wearing means that he probably has done something like that before, which means Zuno is probably a really silly and goofy character. And again, a lot of setup and great foreshadowing and everything. Like, this chapter, the Beerus and Champa fight was cool, but everything after was just superb, just setting things up, finding a little more out about the Dragon Balls, setting up for the strongest person that Beerus ever fought besides Goku and Whis. Like, there's just so much great setup. And one thing I gotta note, it was really nice to see, because Dragon Ball don't ever do it, and I guess that just shows the times now, because people want more of this in manga. Like, getting a full-on explanation as to why Goku and Vegeta are with Bulma and Chi-Chi, and just kind of Vegeta's jealousy there, like, you better not try anything with my Bulma, or I will mess you up. Don't know why I turned Vegeta into Arnold Schwarzenegger, but yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, I get it with Vegeta, with Bulma. I mean, Bulma's a hot little thing, she got all that money, she's like a leader, she's cool and all that good shit, and at the end of the day, he had to sun Yamcha to the wind for that. But like, I still like Goku, Chi-Chi strong-willed, but and yeah, that ending with seeing the Dragon Balls and, Champa saying he's going to get more Saiyans, just a great setup. This chapter, 9 out of 10 for this one. If you wanted action, you got action. You wanted some really interesting and awesome exposition. You wanted some great setup. You wanted more of that Dragon Ball feel all wrapped in one. It was a great chapter. 9 out of 10 for this one, honestly. Like, I can't wait for this shit to kick off. And honestly, Dragon Ball has really managed to keep up with the times where, like, back in the day, it could get away with being like a, 16-page weekly where not too much went down. It was just mainly action. Like, you got action, but then you got really awesome exposition and great setup. Like, honestly, 9 out of 10. And I mean, world building to the Z-verse yet again, talking about going to the center of the universe to use the Dragon Radar and everything. Like, you couldn't ask for more if you're a Dragon Ball fan. But let me know what you guys think of this one. Who's the strongest person? Again, like, that's something that's really like, who is it? Who could it be? Also, do you think that Champa is underestimating Goku and Vegeta because of how he saw them when they were fighting with the weighted clothing on? Like, oh, he's gonna bring some weaklings with him. What do you think about Tights and just everything in this chapter? How do you think the Super Dragon Ball's dragon is gonna look? Is it gonna be humongous and space? Like, what are your thoughts on all this? That's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.